We have finally reached calculator day. Yippee! All right, so basically what we're going to be doing with our calculators today is making things potentially a little bit easier. If slope is kind of a challenge to you, you definitely need to make sure that you pay attention today. And even if it's not a challenge for you, I mean, this still is going to be some pretty good information for you. It might cut down on your time that it takes you on each problem. And it also cuts down on the possibility of kind of mistakes as well, just because most of it's going to be done by this instead of by hand. Now, if you ever find yourself more comfortable with doing the slope and stuff by hand, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. But like I said, this is definitely helpful in a lot of other cases. So there's going to be 2 slides today. This is going to be part 1, and then this one's going to be part 2. All right, nice thing about it, doesn't take super long to figure out, but it's definitely worth the look as far as the different steps that I've put in here. Okay, so anytime you're dealing with multiple different types of problems on slope, whether they be tables, whether they be 2 points and they want you to find the slope, whether they give you a graph and they want you to find the slope, anything like that, you can do this function called the stat function. All right, and then there's here's some steps that it takes to be able to do it. And we're gonna actually play around with these 4 different problems that we have here. So let's say we're trying to find the equation of this table. Or even if they ask you to find the slope or find the y-intercept, whatever. Of course, you can figure it out by hand, but there's a way you'll be able to do it with the calculator. So let's go over that way. All right, so our first step that they want us to do here is to press stat and then edit menu. So you're going to press on your calculator, make sure it's on. You're going to press the button that says stat, which is right here, S-T-A-T, stat. Okay, it is then going to give you this little highlighted section that says edit. You're going to just press enter. So enter. You will have a table, okay, of some sort that looks like this. It should say L1, L2, L3. If it does not on your calculator and it messes up somehow and it says something else, you need to make sure you clear your calculator by doing second plus 7, 1, 2. That's the only way to be able to fix it. All right, so after that, any X's that you have to go into your L1. Any Y's that you have to go into your L2. And so if you need to see that, then it's right here. X is going L1, Y is going to L2. Okay, and you know what? Just to be safe, I want to make sure I make a note of that. So I'll put a little arrow here, and I'll say X's go into L1, Y's go into L2. So make sure you write that down because it is easy to forget if you're first dealing with stat, but after you practice it so many times, it becomes like second nature. So X is going to L1, Y is going to L2. Now, if you ever have any leftover numbers like this left in your calculator, to delete numbers, just press DEL. So if I had, let's say I had an 8 in here and I'm like, I want to get rid of that. Just go over to it and press DEL right here for delete, and it'll get rid of it for you. All right, but that's for future reference. Hopefully, whenever you get your calculators today, they should all be cleared, but whatever. All right, so back to the whole table thing. All right, here's the beautiful part about this whole table and putting it into the calculator. You do not need to enter the whole table. You only have to enter in 2 points, and that is it. 2 points. So let's say I want to enter in this one, and it doesn't even have to be this very next point. It can be maybe the first and the last one. So let's say I want to enter in those 2. 0, 3, and then 8 and 35. So let's go ahead and do that. So my x's are going to go into L1. So I've got 0 for that coordinate, and then my y's are going to go into L2. So I'm going to type in 3 and enter. So there's my first coordinate. Here's my second coordinate. X and 8 and 35. So 8 is X. Ugh, sorry. So 8, enter. Scoot over. And then 35, enter. There you go. Give us a second to make sure we've gotten those in correctly. So all I did was just press the number and press enter to get it to appear on the table. So then after that, what it says here is that you have to hit stat, and I have no idea why it says HT on these two, because on the actual slide it said hit as in HIT, but whatever. So it says to hit the stat button once again. So I'm going to hit the stat button again. This time it says go to calc. So we're going to go to calc. So you see how this little title says calc right here? You're going to press this arrow to make it go to calc, and then hit number 4. So you can either hit 4 or go down to 4 and press enter. Either way, it's going to be this little LinReg title that says AX plus B. And then go all the way down to calculate. So all the way down, go to calculate and press enter. And voila, there is your entire equation. The one thing that's different about it is that it says instead of y equals mx plus b, I don't know why it says ax plus b, but it does. So basically just think about this, a is just an m. Okay, so y equals ax plus b, where a is your slope, and that is 4, and b is your y-intercept, and that is 3. So that's why I told y'all right here, the a is your slope, the b is your y-intercept. All right, so let's write out that equation. So that equation is going to say 4x plus 3. So y equals 4x plus 3. Okay, so try that same case on if they were to just give you 2 random points. So I'm gonna clear this. And now I can go to my stat button again, and we're gonna go through that same process all over again. We're gonna hit enter for edit. And now we have to delete this stuff out. So we're gonna press DEL for delete, and then go over to the X part and DEL, DEL. That way it's all clear. So now remember, your X and Y's are right here, okay? If it helps you out, make sure you do X1, Y1, X2, Y2. That way you know what order that they're supposed to go in, okay? So this is your first point that you were given. That's your second point you were given, okay? Because from left to right, this one's the first, that one's the second. So I'm going to type in this one first. So 5 for my X, 8 for my Y. And then my second point is -3, -2. So here's -3, enter. Go over, here's -2, enter. I'll wait to make sure we have that. Okay, so after that, you're going to press the directions, say hit stat again. Go over to calc. So you have to press this arrow button. Hit 4 for LinReg. And then go all the way down to calculate and press enter. So there's your formula, There's your equation. So A is your slope, B is your y-intercept. So this is going to say y equals 1.25x plus 1.75. There you go. Now, let's try it if we have tables. So I went ahead and put in if we have a table that doesn't have any points and if we have a table that does have points. Just because we have to kind of get used to that case scenario whenever it does come up. So on here, you have to make sure you pick 2 points that lands on 2 numbers. Okay, so technically, does this land on 2 numbers? At first, it doesn't really seem like it, but it actually does. It lands on 0, 0. The origin, AKA. So that means this is proportional. But anyway, so that's 1 point, and I see another point right here that lands completely on 2 numbers. So it lands evenly on this line right here and this one right here. That's what I mean, just in case you don't know. So this one's at 4 and 10. All right, so if we're looking from left to right, not only is this positive, but this point comes first, that point goes second. All right, so this is like your x1 and your y1, and this one is like your x2 and your y2. So we're gonna treat them as such. So we're gonna go to our stat function, press enter. We gotta delete this out, so del. And then enter in our coordinates. So I've got 0 and 0 for my first coordinate. And then I have 4 and 10. Oops. DEL. And 10 for my second coordinate. So I have it typed in. Now I'm going to go to stat. Again, I'm going to scroll over to calc, press number 4, go all the way down to calculate and press enter. And there you go. There's your equation. So y equals 2.5x, and that's it. You do not have to put plus 0. Ew, why am I writing in pencil? If you feel comfortable doing that, that's fine, but it's probably not going to be a multiple choice option that is there, so might as well just get used to that way. All right, now here's a table if they did give you points. So all you have to do is just take 2 points, but you see there's 3 here. You can take any 2 of those, sorry. So just like we did up here, we only took 2. You only have to take 2. So let's say I want to take this one right here, the y-intercept, which is at 0 and 1, 2, -3. So this is at 0, -3. And let's say we take this one, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4, and -2. Oops. So I got 0, -3, 4, -2. So if I'm looking from left to right, that's positive, but also this one goes first, that one goes second. So this one's your y1, y2, this one's your x2, y2. Sorry. So x1, y1, x2, y2. I think I said that wrong. So we're going to take those coordinates, put them into the calculator. So clear, stat, edit, delete, delete. And then our first coordinate we said was 0, -3. Ooh, there we go. Hey. There we go. 0, -3. And then our second coordinate we said was 4, -2. So 4. I am messing up right now. 4 and -2. So what button do we press? Stat again. Where do we go next? Calc. What button do we press? 4, and then go all the way down to calculate. There you go. There is your equation. So y equals 0.25x minus 3. There you go. So I'll go over the part 2. It's not as strenuous, but I'll go through part 2 in just a second.